This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No. Always live. Always real. Always unpredictable.
You with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I'm in. Tori just won't let it go.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Monday, March 11th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. And I'm here with Tori, Bo, Brandon, and I'm Sam. Let's get started. Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez are engaged. The singer and former baseball player announced the happy news on Saturday, posting this picture, wow, of a gigantic diamond engagement ring, estimated at 15 carats. The two were on vacation when A-Rod popped the question. A-Rod also shared this sweet surprise he had for J-Lo on Insta Story, spelling out "I love you" in rose petals on the bed. But not everyone is happy for the newly engaged couple. Nope. Former baseball star Jose Canseco thinks J-Lo is in for a rude awakening. Canseco tweeted, "Little does she know that he is cheating on her with my ex-wife, Jessica. Poor girl. She really has no idea who he really is." And in another tweet, Canseco also says he's willing to take a polygraph to prove he is right. And on top of all, I mean, he does say that he overheard many of the conversations over the phone. That's how he knew and why he believes he'll take the polygraph test. But what makes me think that there's a vendetta behind this, whether it's true or not, is he also challenged A-Rod in one of those tweets, Tori, to an MMA fight or a boxing match.
Yeah, I just don't think he's a credible witness at all. I wouldn't take a lot of advice from Jose Canseco.
But what would he gain from doing this?
He might just gain some fame, and some people just need their 15 minutes back, and he might want to be, like, hawking something. I don't really know. If this is true, talk to A-Rod separately. We do know that A-Rod has been considered a womanizer at some point. He might have changed. Don't tweet it. I'm like, it makes you look terrible. So
unless you have a vendetta because it's your ex-girlfriend, for some reason you don't like him.
Ex-wife. And vindicated his book, he says he slept with his ex-wife, so there might be bad blood carried over.
That's true, too.
But now, Brandon, do you think, we're guys here, do you think that men can change from being cheaters in the past?
Yes, I think so.
You said that very quickly.
Yeah, because love, like, you never know. Like, you could be with the wrong people, you know?
Or just grow up.
Our own Erica Cobb said that, like, you know, you're married to, like, the wrong person, or the person that the real person just doesn't know that that's the love of your life yet. But look how great she's been for him. Look at the imagery that they put out there, just with the tweets, the pictures, the hand holding.
She's also been married multiple times, though, so I think this is
So can she change?
That's the thing. I mean, I'd love to hear from our own DBL Nation. Do you think, number one, that this is her final marriage? And number two, do you think that somebody, a tiger, can change its stripes, so to speak, when it comes to A-Rod? Let us know using the hashtag DBLTake.
But before we do that, Jose Canseco, go away.
Yeah.
Just go away. Thank you. Just go away. Thank you. Let them be happy.
All right. Well, the search for answers is on in Ethiopia right now after a deadly plane crash over the weekend. Let's get to Kelly Schubert. She has the latest.
Sam, everyone on board was killed when a plane carrying 157 people crashed Sunday in Ethiopia. Countries are now taking the Boeing 737 MAX 8 jet out of service because it's the second deadly crash in less than 6 months, the first being the Lion Air crash that killed 189 people back in October. Right now, there's no word what caused Sunday's crash, but eyewitnesses say there was a lot of smoke coming from the back of the aircraft. Now, Sam, the black box has just been recovered from the wreckage, so hopefully we get more answers soon.
Heart-wrenching. Absolutely heart-wrenching.
Well, 5,000 of these planes have been ordered. And, you know, I'm a big Southwest flyer. They're their biggest customer. What they think could have happened, Sam, and this is what happened in the Lion Air crash, is there's an MCAS in it, which causes the nose to go down. And you have to override it in order to pull it up. If you're a little inexperienced or you don't know to override it manually, this is what happened before the other plane, the Lion Air, crashed within first 10 minutes.
And China's already grounded all of those.
And there's pressure on the American
to do the same.
But they haven't yet.
As they should.
Kind of agree with you.
Wow. Well, the U.S. women's soccer team is sick of being paid less than the men's team, so much so that 28 members of the team are suing the U.S. Soccer Federation for gender discrimination. The women argue that they play more games than the men's team, win more of those games, and yet they still get paid less. Here's what one player explained about the situation on the Today Show. Watch.
Why on earth wouldn't we pay people equally and treat people equally and, you know, invest in people equally in general. I feel there's so much left on the table with this team. Why not take that next step, invest in the team equally from top to bottom, whether that's the youth programs, branding, marketing, promotion of the team, all of it, and then let's talk about it then.
And according to the lawsuit, members of the men's team could earn on average $260,000 for 20 exhibition games, while the women's team players could only earn $99,000. So that's a significant difference. So do women's soccer players deserve to make as much as men? We want to hear from you. Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. At first, I was like, well, maybe they're not bringing in as much money. Boy, was I wrong. These girls in 2015, 25.4 million people tuned in to watch them during the World Cup, win the World Cup. Just a mere 11 million tuned into the men's game, and this is a trend here with them. They also get no licensing. Yeah. So they're wondering, why aren't you selling my jerseys?
Yeah, and guess what? To be honest, I'm a very obsessive person about pop culture, and so is Kelly Schuberth, and not one of us knew that they were this enormous power, number one. That's on marketing. That's on doing your own brand.
3 gold medals.
4. There's something wrong.
I gotta be honest with you guys.
4 Olympic medals. Yeah.
4 Olympic medals.
3 gold.
I'm not for pay parity on this. I'm for them making more.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what?
I agree.
If they're going to go out there and they're going to kick butt and make all of our country gold medals, and the men's team can't even qualify for it, why should they not be making more?
And I would have said the opposite if it were the men's. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, if the men are bringing in more, then they're going to make more. But that's not the case here, so I'm a foe.
Yeah, and there are things like the women's ticket prices are lower. And they're saying that, oh, the federation is saying, like, oh, the men's TV ratings are better. Well, that's because they're not playing on the same channels.
Yeah.
You're not putting them out there at the marquee games. They need to get paid more. I agree with you both. Yeah. They play here in Denver April 4th.
Let's go.
Thursday. Let's go.
Hopefully we can interview some of them. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Let's take a look. It says no. Should women U.S. soccer players be paid as much as men?
What?
No.
What?
I don't think you know the details. I really don't, because that was my.
Let's throw in a couple other considerations too. They play on artificial turf, which is bad. You know, is bad for your feet. They don't get quality medical care. They can't even charter a plane sometimes. And only FIFA has just now doubled their amount of pool because they demanded it.
And they're also been #1 10 out of the last 11 years.
They bring in more viewers too. Let's remember that. They're bringing in more viewers, more money, so just please rethink what you just said.
DBL Nation.
DBL retake.
Yes, please. Let's continue the conversation about badass females. A female took the top spot at the box office this weekend. Captain Marvel smashed the glass ceiling. The female-led superhero movie ranked in $455 million worldwide. That's the 6th best start of all time, according to The Hollywood Reporter. And once again, proves that having a woman in the lead role can make bank overseas. And Captain Marvel herself, Brie Larson, surprised fans at a New Jersey movie theater. Check it out.
I just heard that I was on the Cups and Popcorn and I wanted to see for myself. So thank you so much for coming. You guys are so awesome to come like opening weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how it would do.
I heard mixed reviews on this, but the idea that they came out in droves only proves Hollywood, if you're listening, I know you like money, you'll make money. Women have money too.
And Wonder Woman was a big success too. And I talked with Leo about this. Leo on our staff knows these movies backwards and forwards, and I don't. And like when you're part of the Marvel brand, you're coming out of the gate with something pretty good. So it does prove you got the success of Wonder Woman, you got this now, Captain Marvel. I think the door is open.
Crazy Rich Asians, Black Panther. Come on. Representation.
Yes, way to go, Brie Larson. Well, DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up next, another blow to fans of Beverly Hills 90210 as an acting legend passes away. Plus, one of your original pairs of red glasses. I have them right here.
Oh, that's who stole them.
Don't miss my interview with legendary talk show host Sally Jessy Raphael. She reveals the story behind those famous red frames. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. Should people have to take a drug test to get food stamps? DBL Nation, you're fired up with comments coming up next.
Swimsuit season is right around the corner. Join the Keto 30 Challenge today and start losing weight now.
I lost 6 inches in 4 weeks. I've never felt better.
The Keto 30 Challenge is just 4 easy steps. Start your day with a delicious and convenient keto meal shake. Eat 2 low-carb meals. Drink a refreshing and energizing VHB. Get moving. It's that
very, very
easy.
nice. This is the first program.
Sam, people liked your
So get to your
necklace.
nearest GNC and take advantage of their biggest buy one, get one 50% off sale of the
and that is,
season.
of course, Captain Marvel.
I thought at first it was not, but I found it was great. I loved that she was a hero in her own way without a man or a love interest's assistance. Yeah, I mean, I want to talk to, we're going to get Leo and Stu and Big Chris, and we're going to let them talk because they know more about this. But the idea that even if it was, the reviews weren't like Black Panther big or Wonder Woman big, people still came out in droves. In China, it was like the 4th biggest hit ever. I mean, it's making way more money than I had honestly expected. I thought it was going to do some kind of, I don't know. I didn't think it was going to do well.
I did about 150 or so in the U.S. and then like 300 something in China.
20 million, yeah.
And I've just, and again, this is me just kind of parroting a couple things that I had read and heard too, but that, you know, Captain Marvel's a relatively new role. It's a new character, so that's good, that's fresh. That's okay. Marvel has a brand behind it, so that's successful.
Makeup out here, hair out here?
It didn't go up against another major studio release, which was to their
Yeah, because what else is out, right? Like, what else is out?
The Dragon movie?
Thank you, Peter. Peter, thank you.
Again, I feel like How to Slay a Dragon. Yeah. Train a Dragon, not Slay a Dragon. Train a Dragon. We're training dragons.
Not slaying them. We're training them.
I messed up this segment. No, I'm just kidding. Let us know if you guys went and saw it, if you love it, and what you thought. And if you like Brie Larson, she's the one I've heard mixed reviews about. I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything about it. But that I've heard she's not as charismatic, let's say, as Gal Gadot. Again, a woman director, half of it was Anna Boden, and Ryan Fleck directed this. So again, Patty Jenkins with Wonder Woman. We're seeing representation behind the camera. I'd like to see more storytellers of color, more people that are actually telling their stories that we don't know of. So I hope Hollywood knows it opens its gates to all of that, because there's going to be so much more money coming.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to make a great movie.
Yes,
I guess
yes.
Welcome back to DBL. A new law proposed in Alabama will prevent drug users from receiving government assistance in the form of food stamps. And if passed, residents would be required to be tested for illegal substances in order to apply for or receive benefits under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, better known as SNAP. So DBL Nation, do you think food stamp recipients should be tested for drugs?
All right, let's get to your comments. Kim from Facebook says, here's a thought. Instead of putting the funding into drug testing, use the money to rehabilitate those on drugs. I like that as well, but you can only rehabilitate those who want to be rehabilitated, especially when we're talking about something like drugs. But I don't mind this, you know, because I feel like this aid is a help. It's something that's in a form of a privilege in a way. So I feel as though that if there has to be certain rules and guidelines for you to receive this aid, then you just got to abide by them.
Dina from Facebook says, if you can afford drugs, you can afford groceries. This is a real tough one for me. My heart, liberal, bleeding heart says, no, no, no. And a part of me says, you're only trying to call people out. And a part of me agrees with the first comment, Kim, why aren't we giving money to these people in that way? And some part of me does say, if there's rules for workforce, if I have to take a drug test to work here, should you not take a drug test to get help from the government? So I'm going to be honest with you here. I'm a little stuck. Love your opinions.
Sasha from Facebook says, how does that help anything? Addiction and poverty are very complicated issues. This solves nothing, and it's just very cruel. The system is there to be used. Well, it's there to be used, but it's also there to be abused. I hate to say it. Look, you know, you have to determine whether food is a right or a privilege. That we're having that conversation in the country right now. But I think if nothing else, it's a deterrent. We want to make sure that the people get the assistance they need. But you know what? Back to the other comment, if you can afford the drugs, you can afford the food.
And here's the thing, the law is actually written up pretty compassionately, and I want to make sure that's clear. So first of all, they're only going to test you if there is some suspicion there. And then you can actually fail the first time. So maybe there is some sort of treatment involved, and then it's that second time where they're going to take it away from you. But they don't want to punish the family or the children. So then what happens is a third recipient, a third party, then becomes like the enactor, so to speak. So then they'll receive the benefits and make sure that the children are fed. So there's layers here. It's not so black and white, but we appreciate your comments. Let's end with Lisa from Facebook. She says, drug tests the politicians first. The war on drugs was an epic failure because addiction is an illness, not a crime. I agree with you, Lisa, 100%. All right, let's get to some sad news. Soap opera star Jed Allen has passed away. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment.
That's right, Sam. Jed Allen, known for his roles on Beverly Hills 90210 and Days of Our Lives, passed away on Saturday. His son, Rick Brown, shared the news on Facebook and says he was surrounded by family at the time. His on-screen son also posted a tribute to the soap opera legend. Ian Ziering says, so sad to hear we've lost another 90210 castmate. Such a great guy to work with. Alan played his character Steve Sanders' father for 6 years on the show. Alan also played Dan Craig on Days of Our Lives and CeCe Capwell on Santa Barbara. He was 84.
Man, 90210, folks, we give our love to that family because they seem like a very tight cast, and it's not easy when two big deaths, so
very sad.
That's hard.
Wow. Well, coming up on DBL, my candid interview with Sally Jessy Raphael. She shares the story behind her iconic red glasses and reveals the proudest moment of her career. We'll be right back.
Do you?
People heard your review. Some people are saying you trashed it. I don't think you trashed it. If you guys don't know, this is Leo, and we have some other people. Peter, we have Stu, we have a lot of Marvel lovers here. What did you feel?
We have a whole team of reviewers here.
We have a whole team of reviewers. Yes, exactly. Give me your 1 to 10. Give me a grade.
Ooh, 1 to 10.
We got all right, Peter over here to give us a 6. Leo,
wow.
What do I get from Leo?
7 then?
7?
Yeah, 7.
Is it a warm 7 or a cool 7? Cool 7, so not a hot 7.
You know, here's the thing. There were ways the movie could have been made. It wasn't a bad movie, but there were ways it could have been made better.
Tell me about Brie. That's what I want to know. Cool. Like, give her a grade, 1 to 10. See, I don't find her charismatic.
No. I mean, this character was a little stiff, but...
Maybe she has to work out the kinks.
But there were worse people in there.
That's
so
fair.
Jude Law's character was way more stiff.
Jude Law.
His character was just too forgettable, but it was way too important to the story to be that bad. And I think they could have had a lot more comedic moments in there with her Star Force team. I mean, it's just a group of people. They could have been really funny.
Yeah, like
I really would have appreciated that.
Yeah.
Just a couple more laughs.
Every time since Deadpool, I always wish there was more humor in it.
Oh, yeah,
but I want R-rated humor. All right, let us know what you guys thought. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Welcome back to DBL. When you think of Sally Jessy Raphael, the first thing that comes to mind has to be her trademark red glasses. Am I right? The iconic talk show queen stood out not only because of her bold look, but also, and more importantly, for how she tackled controversial topics on daytime TV. The Sally Jessy Raphael show was created by Bert Dubrow, who is our senior executive producer here at Daily Blast Live. The very first episode aired in 1983, and the show had a nearly 20-year run. Sally is an inspiration to me and, of course, so many others. Earlier, I had the honor of sitting down with her to do a special one-on-one interview for our series, TV Legends, Where Are They Now? We originally aired this interview last month, but many of you weren't able to see it because networks were airing Michael Cohen's congressional testimony. So here's take 2. Enjoy. Sally Jessy Raphael, I can't believe I'm talking to you. I watched your show religiously growing up, and I'm actually sitting here today because of you, so thank you.
What were you, 3 years old?
No, actually, I began watching you at around 7 or 8 in 3rd grade, and then I actually watched you all the way through college.
Now you know why I don't do these interviews, for goodness sakes.
Oh, Sally, well, enough of me gushing over you, which is my true sentiment, but you were the first woman to host a syndicated talk show. So how did this come to be?
Our first television show, and it is live from St. Louis.
I'm really not quite sure how it came to be. I was doing radio, and it was Bert's idea that maybe that when you're doing serious topics, and really that's the way the whole thing started. It was really good, serious information type topics.
Also, what I loved about you and what struck me as a young viewer, Sally, you never seem to judge or patronize any of the guests on your show.
Thank you. That's a lovely compliment. I think I came from non-judgmental parents.
You opened up my eyes to some grave injustices, Sally. You shined a bright light on very important issues that I believe would have otherwise remained in the dark, like rape, like family separation, like the AIDS epidemic. In fact, I remember the first interview, and I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. The first interview I ever saw with someone with HIV was on your show, and it clearly stuck with me. No one else was doing that, Sally. Why did you believe it was important?
We wanted to do things that were important. The person you're talking about, I believe, was Ryan White. If you know who I'm talking about, yes, you know your history.
Yep.
The point was to talk to people and make the person you're talking to a human being.
I don't know if you remember this, but years ago, I got about 5 seconds to speak with you on the phone. When I asked you, give me 2 pieces of advice, you said never trust a man in a suit. And you said always go with your gut, Samantha.
Boy, that's not bad advice. I can't even remember doing it.
The list is a long list of celebrity guests that you got to interview. I mean, iconic celebrities. So is there a memorable one that you look back to where you even yourself are like, wow.
Yeah, Audrey Hepburn stuck out to me. I did not know she had about 3 months left on Earth. In fact, I spoke at her memorial service.
So I have to say, because I'm noticing you're still sporting your signature red glasses, and I know people ask this all the time, but we want to hear it. What is the story behind those iconic frames?
I was on Bob Brunn's show. I couldn't read the teleprompter. He was away. I was sitting in. I looked at an ad, and there was one of those all-inclusive, we'll give you an eye exam and a pap smear, and we'll get you glasses.
Right.
And when I went to the store, they only had red.
Okay.
To get the stations to approve of A, a female, but B, a female in red glasses. So.
Wow.
And it all seems so silly now, doesn't it?
No, I thought it was like a branded decision, and here it was an accident.
Everything was an accident.
We have a photo of you, and the photo is from the Emmy Awards. In fact, I'm holding the Emmy. Oh, yeah, you won in 1989, beating out Oprah.
Sally, Jesse, wrap you up.
So, Sally, do you consider that your most accomplished moment as a host, or does something else stick out to you?
Absolutely not. The big moment probably was when we were on television in New York. And that was because I was living in New York, my family was there, and now they knew where I went every day. Before that, none of my relatives figured, you know, what the heck is she doing?
Sally, before we go, I have to tell you, Bert Dubrow, who I also owe my career to, by the way, and who I mentioned earlier, saved one of your original pairs of red glasses. I have them right here.
Oh, that's who stole them.
Can you see?
And you look great.
I adore you. It was an honor. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope I can personally meet you one day. You see how greedy I can be?
There you go. Peace.
Peace. We will be right back.
Welcome back to Double Jump, where we talk the latest in gaming, tech, and pop culture news. Today we're here to review Captain Marvel, which stars Brie Larson in the titular character of Carol Danvers, and she becomes Captain Marvel to help defend the Earth from the oncoming space galactic war between 2 alien races, the Kree and the Skrull. Chris, I'm going to you first, man. Give me the good, the bad, the great, the ugly, and it doesn't sound that good so far.
No, this is a big old bag of so-so. Everything is just okay with this movie. There's so many missed opportunities. She was on a team of like super warriors that they could have had so many funny interactions with that, like Guardians of the Galaxy style. And you know, the only really good interaction that her character had was with Samuel L. Jackson. That was really good.
Yeah,
the back and forth was great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't appreciate how they treated the Skrulls in this one. They're pretty much just peasant refugees when they're supposed to be a giant galactic empire. So
yeah,
the movie was just so-so. She wasn't that great. I would say, well, now we'll do the final.
She was almost there, I think, and I want to go back to your energy with the team, because I feel like Samuel L. Jackson and her were the only two that worked really good together in this movie. Her and Jude Law didn't play off of each other as well as I really wanted them to. I mean, come on, you're like a mentor, mentee situation, like, you guys need to have some good energy. And she was trying to crack jokes that just weren't timed well. They just weren't really that funny. And Jude Law's character wasn't even like a snicker. Like, come on, man, some kind of something to let us know that you're at least amused by this character, because they have a big past together, but it just doesn't show at all in this movie. So, Chris, what are you recommending for this one? Wait for Redbox, go to the theater, or don't see it at all?
I'm going to recommend go to Redbox for this one. If you're looking for a great movie to see in the theaters that's a female action hero, go see Alita Battle Angel. Skip this one. Wait till Redbox for this one. You're not missing too much.
I gotta say, I would say see this in theaters. I think it's a good but not great adaptation in Marvel's lineup. So check this one out, you guys, and we will see you next time on Double Jump.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Tori?
All right, women's soccer, interesting. Sierra says, yeah, sounds like gender discrimination to me. Well, Brandy goes even further. I would rather watch the women's soccer team than the men's team.
Yep.
They win more, care more about the game. They should be paid more than the men.
Well, she's not alone.
I know.
So why do you reckon 70% of DBL was saying they didn't think it should be at pay parity?
I don't think they know all the details.
No, they didn't know.
If you don't agree, let us know, because I agree. We want to know more about that.
Also, if they really want to get their money with the World Cup being this year, they should hold out. They should threaten to sit out
Good
in the
for
World
them.
Cup.
Yeah, good
Why
for
not?
them. And apparently the two organizations that runs them and the men's, they're treating them when they go after advertisers as one group.
Right.
Yeah.
They should be treating them differently.
Separately, exactly.
And of course the licensing. Like they're missing out on so many opportunities with the jerseys and things like that. So
as Billie Jean King said, we always want the women to have the crumbs. I want the icing, I want the cake, and I want the cherries on the top.
They do have different collective bargaining agreements, which could throw a cog in the wheel a little bit, potentially. But we'll see. I just think they're doing so well for us. Why shouldn't they be paid that?
Yeah, I agree with you.
I agree. All right. Well, we will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a fantastic Monday, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Stay safe out there.